Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel. Peter likes to read books. Anyway, I am getting ready to go out of town this weekend. So as you know, it's Thanksgiving, and it is also my aunt and uncle's 50th wedding anniversary. And so they have booked us all rooms at this amazing hotel in French Lick, Indiana. So I'm super excited because there's a casino there. And it's a spa hotel and it's really nice. And I'm super excited because we're gonna go spying and napping. But it's like the perfect weekend to like just be in the hotel room and read and all that kind of stuff because there's just not really a lot to do in this town except for go to the casino and I guess eat. I don't know. So anyway, I was thinking a lot about like picking a book for vacations. Or picking books for vacations, because one of my favorite things to do is like when I'm going on vacation somewhere is like picking out the perfect book. And I mean, like, this is something I have done since I was like a little kid, right? Like if I'm going somewhere like to a beach, like I want to read something on a beach that's like beachy, right? And if I'm going somewhere that's going to take place like in the mountains, I want to read something that's going to take place in the mountains. And typically for me, like I like to read things that are very exciting for wherever I'm going. So like for example, and I will even Goodreads, I will even Google search this stuff or look it up on Goodreads. Like if I'm going to Miami and I want to read like a detective novel or like some kind of suspense novel that takes place in Miami, I will Google search like best suspense novels in Miami and then I go buy them. Like, and that has happened so many times and that's been how I have like found some really great books, honestly. A lot of other times what I do is, well, I used to be bad about this. Like I used to pack like 4 books and read like 20 pages of one. Do you guys ever do that? And then I'm like, why did I bring 4 books? And 4 books are so expensive and or so heavy. But I don't want to buy books on vacation because they're expensive. And then if I end up leaving them there or whatever. So what I have done, and I literally right now, to show you, I mean, and this is like just, I wanted to kind of show you my process of what I go through. And I literally have like 25 books sitting over here that I'm going to go through and explain to you like how I make the decision of what I'm going to read. And it's interesting because for me, like reading is an experience. Like I'm sure it is for many of you. And, hold please. Ooh, it's still a little hot. People always want to know what I'm drinking, so I thought, well, I would show. I get that question a lot, like, what are you drinking? This is chai tea, and it's actually this Tezo chai. So anyway, not sponsored, wish I was. But anyway, from my Keurig. Do you guys have a Keurig? Keurig's like if you want to buy somebody, oh my God, there's a squirrel there, a squirrel. There's a squirrel, a squirrel. There's a squirrel, a squirrel, a squirrel. There's a squirrel. We live kind of in the woods. There's a squirrel on our roof. Anyway, if you guys want to buy the perfect Christmas present for your parents or for anybody, I love the Keurig. I think they're awesome. Anyway, just make sure you clean out the filters because if not, they only last about a year. All right, so anyway, I am so excited about going on this vacation, but it's always like I want to pick like the perfect experience for reading, right? Like I don't want to just like be like, oh, I wanted to read this book, I'm going to take this book. But what's interesting about that is that times in the past when I have just like grabbed a book, like one of the things I love to do, and this is the thing, I will do this whole video, and then tomorrow night before Thanksgiving or Friday morning before we leave, I will go to the bookstore and I'll buy like the brand new book that just came out because I want to read like the brand new book. Like, and it's always crazy because like right before the holidays or right before I travel, it's always like Dan Brown comes out with some new novel or Michael Crichton used to back in the day or whatever. And I remember like I have had some extremely profound moments reading books on vacation, and I don't know if it's maybe because my mind just escapes as well, but one of the most profound books was that I went to Cancun years ago, God, like 20 years ago now, and I read Wally Lamb, She's Come Undone. I literally like just sat on the patio overlooking the ocean and I read that book in 2 days. Profoundly changed my life. And so a lot of times I kind of want that experience, but a lot of times I want to just read something that's trivial and fun. And then what ends up happening is I want to take 2 or 3 or 4 books, right? There we are again, back to the 3 or 4 books. And like I said, books are very heavy. So what I try to do now is like this weekend, I mean, the reality is I'm not going to read 4 books in 2 days. It's not going to happen, not when I'm with my family and those kinds of things. So the reality is I will take 1 book and I will commit to that. And then I also have my audiobook. The other thing is that you know, like our phones and iPads and all that kind of stuff have totally changed this generation of reading, because you can have, you know, books on your Kindle, on your phone, audiobooks. I always have an audiobook that I'm listening to. Right now I'm still listening to. I'm halfway through now. Can you believe it even? Can you even imagine? Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and loving it. But, so I always have an audiobook. So, you know, like you can carry all these books with you on a phone. Like my friend always says, like, I'm like, what book are you taking with you to Florida? And she's like, Peter, I read all of my books on my phone now, so I don't need, but that's kind of depressing to me. I like the idea of taking a book, right? And like an actual book. And so, this is the bag. I always have like some kind of new bag. Oh, there's something in this bag. Let's see what it is. What's in your bag? Anyway, oh, all kinds of stuff. Look, gum and halls and all kinds of madness. Anyway, but this is the bag that I take with me most places now, and it's just a stupid little laptop bag. I think I actually even got it at Walmart for like 20 bucks, but see how cute it is? And my laptop fits like perfectly in here, and then I can also fit like my wallet in here, and a book. Like I can always, but the book cannot be like some ginormous book, because I don't want this to be super heavy. So what I do is I put one book in here now when I go on vacation, and then if I think that I might finish it, or if I'm halfway done with it already, because who knows, if I have 8 hours to sit in a hotel room and read, I might finish a book. Then what I do is I pack another book, but I take 2 books max. So let's get right into this and how I pick a book, because we're already almost 7 minutes into this video, and you guys are like, Peter, are you gonna pick any books for this trip? And then that's what happens. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, the night before we're going on a trip, and Alex is like, you have 25 books sitting on the counter. Which one are you taking? I'm like, I want to take all of them, of course. I mean, come on now. All right. And this is kind of for adult or teenage readers. This is not so much for like the children. So let me tell you how I pick a book. So, because kind of different times and different places require different things. First of all, I want to say that I always love to take new bookmarks that I get in the mail, because, you know, people send me bookmarks. Oh my God, you guys, people send me homemade bookmarks and bought bookmarks and all of it. I love it so much, okay? And I have like, I need to do a haul video of all the things that people have sent me in the last month or two, because I've gotten so many things that was that, that's not a haul video. But anyway, like a P.O. box interview, anyway, or interview, unhaul, because so many people have sent me really nice things. But Annette sent me these bookmarks that she made. One says, Dad is they, because on my other channel, everybody calls me Dad. And then this one says, Woof Daddy, because that's like a joke from my other channel, my Peter Mon channel. If you don't watch my Peter Mon channel, it's linked below. So, oh my gosh, and she wrote on the back of it, to Peter from Annette, love your videos. I love those so much. So anyway, so these will go right here in my, well, actually there's like an inside pocket, and I don't want these to get messed up, so I'm putting them in the inside pocket. Okay, so those are gonna go in there. And because I always like to have bookmarks with me, and I usually take like 3 or 4 just so I have enough. Okay, now here's the one thing that always rules out books for me. So you guys, you know I had like 20 books at the library. Well, I returned all of them except for The Fixer, because Brandon the Book Addict has talked so much about it. I'm like, I have to read this book. One Man Guide by Michael Barakiva, because I wanted to read this book forever. And this Run by Cody Keplinger, because she wrote The Duff, and I like The Duff, so I want to read this book. But I will not take library books with me on vacation, out of fear that I will lose the book and then I will owe the library $30. You guys know I'm very, very weird about owing the library even 20 cents. So that's, okay. Then the way that I kind of rule things out is this. So I don't talk much about this on the channel, but at any given time I'm always reading some kind of self-help, self-awareness book, right? And so let me show you the ones that I'm reading right now. I'm reading Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And it's all small stuff. I read this when I was a kid. I haven't read this, I'm not a kid, but like in high school. And I found it, and my mom has like all of these notes in here and all kinds of things. And oh look, there's my first business card. Anyway, so she has all these things in here. So I was like, you know what? Well, my mom has like written little notes in here. Which one is this that she wrote? Cut yourself some slack. Settle, and then she wrote, settle for nothing but the best, and that's exactly what you'll get. I like that, Mom. I'm going to keep that over here. Okay, my mom was such a smart cookie. Okay, and then I'm reading Leave Your Mark by Eliza Lick. And she is the PR manager or director for Donna Karan New York or International. And she started like in one field, and she went and she wanted to always work in fashion, but she was going to medical school. And like one moment she just decided, I'm going to go work in fashion. And now she's like the best social media fashion person in the world. And this is her book. about like how it's amazing. And it's very much storytelling. So if you need a book like that, this is really good for college kids, like amazing for college kids on how to like pursue your career, how to interview, how to land your dream job, how to use social media positively, not negatively. It's amazing. So it's called Leave Your Mark. I love this book. This would actually make a great Christmas present for college kids. I'm going to actually leave this out and put that on my college Christmas list because I'm going to do one of those too. And then Make Your Creative Dreams Real. I actually, it's by Stark, who's one of my favorite writers, self-help book people in the world. Okay, and I use this book a lot in my office, and so I'm rereading it because I'm doing it with a client right now. So, but I don't want to take any of those because those aren't fun. Nobody wants to read those on vacation, right? So yeah. So then the next thing I have to decide is, do I want to take something, now you guys are going to be like, these are highly intellectual. Well, I mean, kind of intellectual, okay? And the first one is, And Then You Were None, and then You Were None. And then There Were None by Agatha Christie, because I just started it last night, and then I was like, you know what, I'm not starting another book until I finish some. And then Franny and Zoe by J.D. Salinger, because I'm reading the collected works of J.D. Salinger with Graham and Mega Man, chief fan. But I thought, you know what, like, I don't want to read anything like serious on vacation, so those two are out. Okay. Then the next thing is, a lot of times I'm like, well, maybe I just like to read something fun and brainless in the hotel room, you know, and one of the things that's interesting is that like a lot of my friends, when they go on vacations and they fly, we're driving, but when they fly, they buy books at the airport, and I'm like, do you realize how expensive books are at the airport? But anyway, so sometimes I like to just read something mindless, and like a lot of times I'll just pick up like an adventure book, like David Baldacci, or like James Patterson, which I always then am like, I'm halfway through this James Patterson book, and yes, the mystery's okay, but like, and now I don't want to leave the hotel room because the chapters are a page and a half long, and there's 400 chapters in this book, a page and a half long. But I can't leave the hotel room because I have to know what happened to Sally, the millionaire's daughter, and her 15 kids that are all on a cruise ship, and his books are crazy, but then I get hooked. So even though they're so bad, I mean, James Patterson's novels are bad. I'm sorry, they just are. But I have John Fowles The Collector, which is an international bestseller, 1.5 million copies sold. I actually got this at Goodwill. And then this Feed book, which is like about zombies or something, and I've heard such great things about it that I'm like, I may take one of those. So those are two, and see, they fit very easily in my bag. See, very easily. So, okay, those are two maybe keepers. And then the next thing is, do I want to read something that like I've been meaning to read that will like maybe impact my life and whatever? And so those three books for me. And what happens is I just go to my bookshelf and I just start pulling down books, right? Absolute Brightness by James Lessine. This is it's a gay young adult book. You guys know I love anything LGBT, young adult. So I've been wanting to read this for a while. I bought it. Barbara Kingsclever, The Poisonwood Bible. Let's just talk about that for a second. That could be a whole Thanksgiving weekend. But like, this reminds me of when I read She's Come Undone and Cancun. It's like life-changing, right? And I've been meaning to read this forever. But I can tell you right now, I'm not taking this book. It's too heavy. Okay, and then The Couple Next Door by Shari Lapena. I've heard great things about this. Now, the one problem about this book is I don't love taking hardback novels on vacation, okay? So I can tell you, she's out. Shari Lapena. Then the next book is, do I want to read memoirs? And so I have bought in the last couple months, Joan Didion's The Year of Magical Thinking. I've been wanting to read this book forever. I bought, because you know, a memoir on vacation is really actually good because you're kind of out of your mind, you can see somebody else's perspective. Shane Dawson's It Gets Worse, a collection of essays. You guys know, Shane Dawson's a friend of mine. I love Shane Dawson. He's my future husband. So anyway, whenever he breaks up with his boyfriend Rylan and I get divorced, which that's never gonna happen, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, okay, but I love Shane. And so that one, or Augustine Burroughs' Lust and Wonder, okay, which I've been wanting to read forever. Hardback, she's out. So this one's a keeper for right now. Okay. Then the next thing is, do you want to read a true story, something true that you might want to learn about, Peter? And do you want to read something that you've been reading forever, like Helter Skelter? Okay, a little long. She ain't going with us. Into the Wild, I wanted to read forever. And I thought, actually, this might be a really good book to take on vacation. I was thinking about that today. And then the last group is, well, books that are by your favorite authors, books that would just be really, really fun to read, books that you've been meaning to read forever, books that you know you will love and have a great experience with, all those kinds of things, which are typically for me the highest mark, right? And the first one for me is John Green's Let It Snow with Maureen Johnson, who I read in the collection of short stories by Stephanie Perkins and Lauren Miracle. She was also in their 3 holiday romances. I love these kinds of things, but I kind of think I want to save this for closer to Christmas, even though the day after Thanksgiving is Christmas to me. And so I thought, well, what if we're there and it starts snowing and there's a blizzard and then I want to read this book? But the chances of that happening is not great, so. And then Harry Potter, I'm like, well, Harry Potter, I've been wanting to get to forever. This is actually a very easy read in a hotel, and I would get it done. I've been on the Chamber of Secrets for 9 months now, so. And then Six of Crows, because I've wanted to read Six of Crows forever. I actually think I might have bought this on Audible, so I don't know that I'm going to read this. So anyway, so now these are the books that I'm down to, and this is where the real problem comes, okay? Is that I have now all these books, and I have to narrow this down to 2. So, I don't know why the first thing I thought of was The Collector. She's out. So then this Absolute Brightness is probably not what I want to read. I don't know. It's just maybe too lighthearted. So now I'm down to 5 books. Okay? Well, Into the Wild looks good, but I can read that some other time. Shane Dawson, Harry Potter, Six of Crows, and Feed. So these are my 4. I'm going to take 2 of these. Tell me in the comment section below which 2 I should take, and you make the decision for me, okay? Because I just can't take it. And later this week, I'm also going to do a video about possible best books for to buy on Black Friday or Christmas presents for people. So anyway, because I have lots of ideas about that. Do you guys have a hard time picking out books when you're going on vacation? Is your process as long and lengthy as mine? I haven't even started it, and it looks like I did on this video, but I really didn't. So anyway, leave in the comment section below if you think there's a great book that I should read on vacation that I have to read for Thanksgiving, or which one of these 4 books I should read. All right? Talk to you guys later. I love you. Bye.